up, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, day 25 here on the 31 Days of Horror Volume 3, and we are gonna go, for me, I guess, cross seas to France from a film from 2010 called Last Caress. This is a movie I've actually had in my Amazon cart for as long as I can remember. It seems like it's been in there for 5 years. So probably maybe whenever this DVD came out, I'm not sure. I vaguely read something about this one years ago. It sounded interesting, so I thought I'd add it to the cart, but it was too pricey at the time. And I noticed, just by going through my cart, that it had dropped down to like $7 Prime, and so I was like, why not just pick it up? Perfect time to do it during the 31 Days of Horror, and here we are today in day 25. So get into the synopsis of this one. Basically, this one is about 5 friends that go out to this house. One of the girls from this group of friends is going to meet her cousin there, and just for some R&R, relaxing, do some partying, you know, typical setup. You know, when the cousin's not there, they get kind of bored, and they decide to do this weird seance, which kind of releases the vengeful spirit of this witch from the past. And but what else they don't know is that there's someone else there who is ready to start picking them off one by one. And that is the synopsis of the film. Now, my thoughts on this film. First up, if you are a fan of Italian cinema, this movie is pretty much a love letter to Italian cinema, whether it be, you know, it's very, very much giallo influenced. And Italian exploitive influenced also. Of course, it's paying homage to the American slasher also. It's got all those elements. It has a killer that's very reminiscent from a giallo. This one doesn't have any type of police investigation or anything, but it does have a killer that resembles a killer from a giallo. He's a guy that's, you know, in a black suit, wears glasses, and he's got the black gloves and stuff. And he really doesn't say much in this film at all. You do get to see his face. So unlike, you know, a very typical giallo where it's mostly POV, you don't get to see the face and stuff, that's a little bit different. You get to see this guy's face right away. But yeah, this is a really short film. It only runs about 69 minutes before the credits start, so it kind of gets going right away. There isn't really a lot of story at all. You don't even know why this killer is in this house and exactly what his motives are. We do know that he's there maybe trying to find a painting of this past witch or something. We don't really fully know. Like I said, this one gets into it really quick. It's not really about the stories. This one's also dubbed as the first glam gore movie from France, I guess. I'm assuming that's just because the girls in this are really luscious and beautiful. I'm not sure. But when we watch these type of films, you know, these slasher, giallo-esque type films, we're watching these for the kills, like I've said many, many times in reviews. And I will say the kills in this film were pretty damn good. They were gory for what there was. I mean, the thing is, though, this film is oddly paced. Like, you have this beginning where these friends are doing their stuff, and then when the kills start happening, they all happen at once. Like, one big lump sum of deaths. The 4 friends get killed off like in a matter of like 10 minutes, and I looked and I was like, wow, there's like 30 minutes left in the film. I'm like, where's this thing going? So it's very, very odd, but the kills were good. The women were sexy, the kills were good. The music was actually really interesting in the film too. I felt like the music by Double Dragon of all groups, I felt like they were trying to mimic Goblin a little bit in this film. But then it turned into more of like a modern synth type music. So basically the soundtrack is very synth influenced and stuff. So it's actually pretty cool. Not a lot of dialogue in this film. Like I said, this one is French, so it is subtitled. But, you know, the first half an hour of the film has a little bit of dialogue. And I will say the subtitles in this were really fast. I generally never have problems reading subtitled films because I do it quite often. But they were like rapid pace in this one. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I guess it didn't really matter. There wasn't really a whole lot of story and probably meaningful dialogue anyways to understand, you know, the progression of the narrative. So it didn't really quite matter. But yeah, man, this one right here was kind of interesting. Like I said, you know, about 45 minutes of the film, it seemed like all the kills were kind of done. And then there's like, it just goes kind of synth soundtrack, no dialogue. It's crazy. And then it gets into this oddly placed third act where it turns very Italian, almost Fulci influence and stuff. It's got some pretty interesting cinematography and ideas behind it. But yeah, you know, there's not really a lot of substance here. If you're looking for substance, you're probably not going to find it. I do like how, you know, when they're doing the seance and they release the witch and stuff, they have this scene where it's very, very so Italian influenced, but it's got this like nunsploitation type scene where with this witch and stuff, and then that kind of plays into the end of the film too. It's so influenced, basically like a love letter, like I said before. So if you're into that type of cinema, you might appreciate this one. If you're not, then I would say give this one a pass, but I do recommend this. I give this one about a 6.5 out of 10. I wish that things were just flushed out a tad bit more with the killer. I mean, you get to see the killer on the back here. It's not a mystery. You get to see him right away in the film, because there's a very odd scene in the beginning of the film with somebody that gets killed by another person. So that's actually kind of a weird play scene. But I will say the killer in this one has one of the coolest weapons. I won't disclose what that weapon is, but the weapon was rather gnarly, and it came in handy for some pretty gory kills. I thought it was pretty awesome. So that's always a bonus, man. I had a lot of fun with this, even though it was probably too short, you know, for what it is. I wish they had just kind of spaced out things just a tad bit better, but yeah, maybe with a little bit more story would have been interesting, but I had fun with it. So Last Caress from 2010, not really a whole lot more to say about it. Check it out if you guys find it for cheap. I think it's readily available. I'm not 100% sure. It seems like every time I say that, the film that I'm recommending turns out to be out of print, which is completely ridiculous. So anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, day 26. Sorry this upload is so late. I got watching the baseball game and it was like ridiculous. The game was so amazing and over the top and just full of excitement. So I just got to this too late today. So anyways, Last Caress, check it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow, day 26.